Welcome to the channel. This is Steel City Knives. Right, we're going to be having a look at this beautiful knife today by Robert Klaas. Really big fan of this brand. Really big fan of this brand. And I got a bit of a backstory, a personal backstory to this knife. So I wanted this blue poplar burl, and my lighting is not going to do it justice. There you are. It comes in a copperhead as well. I'll show you the copperhead. But I'm one of these where I like one of each pattern from different brands and things like that. But yeah, a really stunning material, really wanted it. I made an order with Knives and Tools in November for this knife. I really rate Knives and Tools. I do use them now and again, especially for Robert Klaas. Now something's happening because all of a sudden I had to chase them. They weren't the best customer service on their behalf, I must admit. I had to sort of keep calling them up, and then eventually they told me, oh, we can't fulfill it, unfortunately, because I don't think we're going to be having that knife in again. And a lot of their stock for Robert Klaas just is, they put some of it on sale, and then some of it doesn't look like they're restocking it or hard to get. So I don't know what's going on with the company. I love them. Me and my mate Retro Stu, we used to check out the canoes on there because they're absolutely brilliant, and we deliberated, and maybe, well, I think we deliberated too long, mate. We should have pulled the trigger on them. But and this is what I mean, we need to be aware of what's going on in the knife industry, and we're going to talk a bit about that. Some of it's hearsay, and this might be, I'm not unsure if Knives and Tools are going to stock any of their stuff, but it's always good to keep your eyes peeled, see what's going on in the knife community. But right, what we're going to talk about burlwood, because it is one of my favourite cover materials, and I've got another knife that I'm going to be showing as well. Like I said, we're going to be talking a bit about just German cutlery in general, Solingen cutlery, and yeah, let's get on with the video. The box real quick, because they always come in these really understated boxes, really small, easy to store away, but as you can see, they're handmade by Klaas. These are the two logos that they have. So a lot of people know Hen and Rooster. They're both separate brands essentially. So Robert Klaas bought Hen and Rooster, and they bought the rights to it here in Europe, I believe. I think Frost owns the rights to them in America. I've done a bit of a deep dive on a previous knife that I've shown about Robert Klaas, and I'll link that at the end, and it goes into the history, because it's got a brilliant history, and they both of them have, to be fair, really good. And like I say, they've been going, I think Robert Klaas are about 190 years old, so they've got some phenomenal knives, some phenomenal history associated with it. And I trust companies like this when they've been doing it 190 years. They tend to know what they're doing. It came with this. Now I got this from a German seller, so it's in German, but I really like this sort of old school paperwork that they had with it. I really like that. I like that knife as well. It's beautiful. It's probably saying clean your knife out when you first get it, because obviously a lot of handmade stuff's worked, and that is the case. But if you know German, there you are. But yeah, brilliant little advert that came with the box. And other than that, it just came wrapped in some paper. Now this is in the stainless. This is their 1.4034, which is a very popular German steel, very similar to sort of a 420. But again, when a company's been going as long as this company has, they know steels, they know how to heat treat it and all the rest of it. Now, Robert Klaas is one of those brands that I've never had a bad knife from them. Never. The fit and finish has always been spot on. Now, the cost for this cost me £66. For burlwood, it's insane. A handmade knife for £66. So, absolutely beautiful. There's the tang stamp. And again, look for the Solingen, because that is fiercely protected if it's got it on there. If it just says Germany, it's probably not made in Solingen. And then we've got rust-free and the two stalks there, or the two cranes. I think initially it was two stalks, and then it went to two cranes, so to speak. I don't know if that's just terminology or what, but and then we've got this brilliant etching. You gun guys will know what that is. We've got trapper, razor sharp, but yeah, just a phenomenal knife. I'll close it up so you can see your blade centering, more or less straight down the middle, but hafted so well. Now, I have noticed this on a lot of the Robert Klaas knives I had. They don't butt up. It's sort of, the blade sits in the middle rather than... Now, I think that's intentional, because I've had a lot of knives now that have this bit of a dip, and it's just the positioning of where they where they sit the blade there. But yeah, brilliant knife. My lighting's not doing this justice. I did do a short on the burlwood, but should we talk a bit about burlwood? Because burlwood has become really one of my sort of favourite cover materials, and it will probably show it more on this Puma knife here that I've got. Again, this is beautiful, and I've not brought myself to carry this yet because it's so beautiful. So burl, or burr, I think burr, the UK know it as, and Americans call it burl. It can be any species of wood. This is poplar. This is ambonia, but ambonia, I hope I've pronounced that right. But yeah, it's essentially, and I'll show you it here, this is what it looks like on the tree. So it can be an infection, a foreign body, or something physical that's happened to that tree, and it's essentially its way of like trying to repair itself. And it's just a lot of knots, essentially. But I think it's really, well, my mate Drew, who's a carpenter, says it's hard to work with because sometimes these will drop out, or bits will drop out. You can probably see there where you'd get that issue and that would drop out. So it's hard to work with. Now, this probably wasn't that hard to work with because it's stabilised with like a blue resin. But I don't know, it might have been. You can still see some of the bits of but a really strong wood, I think. I think it's really strong. Now, that's poplar. So if you know poplar wood, it's a hard wood, but it's one of the softer, harder woods. But the fact that it's impregnated sort of with this resin, it probably is quite hard. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning wood, and I'm not going to be able to do it justice with my camera. But yeah, gorgeous wood. Like I say, I've done a short on that just to show it off a bit more, and you'll be able to see it in natural light. But right, let's just talk about Solingen companies. So, yeah, I know I'm probably going to sound a bit like a broken record here, but this is kind of going to be what my channel is about. That companies like this, selling me a handmade beautiful knife for £66, I'm really going to sort of champion these sort of companies, because that to me is brilliant value. It's a beautiful knife to have in my collection that I'll treasure. And we need to, I really do sort of look at what's going on. And the fact that Knives and Tools seem to be maybe not selling them, I don't know, or maybe they're changing their stock, I'm not 100% certain. But Robbie Klaas are not the easiest knives to get here. I know a lot of sellers don't really sell them. And I'm unsure why. Like I say, I've never had a bad knife from them. And they also, Messer HQ mentioned quite a while ago now that Boca are no longer making multi-bladed knives, and I found a lot with the German knives, like that single-bladed Stockman that I did. Things like that, if we lose, it's essentially, that's crinking. That's when somebody crinks the knife to get it in a blade well with a Stockman, and it's a skill set. And if companies stop doing that, we'll just lose that skill set within companies, and we'll lose it forever. Now, luckily, a lot of American companies are still doing it. We know K still do it, things like that. But it's always good to keep your eyes peeled and just pick up on things in the industry, what's going on. But I know single-bladed knives are very popular. But I mean, I love Stockmans and cattle knives, things like that. And I'd love to see it. And a lot of these companies, and I know I've got to be in my body, but I'm just going to mention it. So we've got a lot of like machine-made knives and things like that now. They can't do the crinking. They haven't got the skill set. That's why whenever you see a multi-bladed machine-made knife, they're usually chunky, and they have to use a blade length that's a full length, so that you don't have that massive gap in the blade well. And that's what I mean. That's what this channel is going to be about. It's really going to be about investing in companies like this. They've been going around forever, and such a long time. But newer companies as well. We'll still, some upcoming videos. I'm going to be doing a special on Cooper Cutlery. I'll grab their knife now. Because this knife, I want to do just a video on this knife on its own, and Beaver Falls, because that's a really good company to do a lot of deep dive in. It's really interesting company, and just the knife itself, because it's absolutely beautiful. But then I want to do a bit of a backstory on the company, because it's an amazing company really, and it's my era. They came around when we're all about, and they're going to hopefully be around here to stay. and they're a brilliant company that's in our era. It's happening whilst, you know, we're collecting, so it's exciting stuff, and it's a brilliant company. They sent me, like I say, they sent me some pictures of their workshop and a bit of backstory about them all, and it'll be a good video. So it'll be a two-part of that. Also, I've got another Robert Klaas knife, but I'll leave that for a while. I don't like to do the same thing over and over again. But should we do a cut test while I've got you here? I always manage to mess these up. There we go, messed it up straight away. But they always come absolutely razor sharp. But the blades always. And we'll do the stats and the measurements and all the rest of it in a minute. But yeah, another video that I want to do, and I'll give you a quick sneak peek. Somebody did a comparison between Bear and Son and Rosecraft. So I'm gonna do one too, because I like Bear and Son. I think they're very affordable. I think they're a brilliant knife. And they seem to be a bit of the underdog for some reason out on YouTube. I know we've had a few glowing reviews on them, but again, I'm going to do a special on Bear and Son, because an amazing company that need the spotlight shown on them to show what they're doing at the moment. And I like all that sort of stuff. I like looking at cutlery in a deep way and trying to work out all about it and talk about the companies themselves, because I find that interesting. I hope you guys do too. Right, let's talk about the specifications of the Robert Klaas knife. So these are taken from Knives and Tools website. So I'm going to give it you in metric. Obviously, Solingen company. So 7.8 centimeters is the blade length. 7.1 centimeters is the cutting length. 9.8 centimeters closed. But sometimes, being a handmade product, there's always going to be slight differences anyway. No offense to Knives and Tools, but their measurements are never usually that spot on. But if I do that, you see how that is just 3 inches. So it's probably a slight bit smaller. I know I should be using a fixed point. Let's see if we can do that. So yeah, they could be right actually, to be fair. But I think I'm not a lawyer, you know, carry and abide by all laws, but to me, this is just slightly under or bang on 3 inches. So, but yeah, I think closed it's 3 3/4 is the frame size for it, but it's the steel type is 1.4034, which is a very, very popular and common German Solingen sort of. I keep pronouncing it wrong. Solingen. Knife steel. It's similar to a 420. It's been used forever and a day. I'll put probably some of the stats up about it now, but I've had that steel before in a lot of my knives. I know it holds up well and it does a good job. So I like the simplicity of there's no swedging. It's quite a straightforward sort of clip point blade there. No swedging. Nice simple nail nick. I know recently there was. Doom Crew did a brilliant video on fit and finish, and I'm going to show you all the different, you know, because people might say, oh, it's not butted up very well there. Now, to me, that doesn't bother me. This was a £66 knife. It looks absolutely stunning. That will not bother me in the slightest. I'll show you the tank stamps. We've got Robbie Klaas, Solingen, and then Moss Free. I like this one because usually sometimes you do have the hen and rooster on it somewhere, but this one's just their brand. So I do like that. It's just solely theirs. But yeah, the fit and finish, it's hafted really well. No gaps whatsoever. Some might say, oh, that's a little gap. But again, you know, when we've got machine-made knives coming through thick and fast now, going on about how perfect they are, and I'll go into that when I'll put them up against Bear and Son, but really, that's not a gap to me. You know what I mean? If that's a gap, if you're saying that's a gap, then fair enough, but... But yeah, it's hafted beautifully. Fit and finish is absolutely done brilliantly. I know some people are bothered about the terminations here and all sorts of stuff, but yeah, this is going to be a user for me, especially at that £66 sort of pound price range. So yeah, I love this thing. Absolutely brilliant. Right, there are a few of the videos that are coming up. it's a bit of a busy time for me at the moment. We've got summer holidays and spending time with the kids and family and stuff. So I've got a lot of shorts sort of done that I really enjoy doing. The long form videos, I'm never going anywhere from YouTube. I will go down swinging. I love handmade knives. I love showcasing them on the channel. You know, and I'm not going anywhere. So please stay subscribed. I'll always be posting something of some sort. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.